Okay, so I kind of want to make a video about why I don't want to graduate. Because this has been something that's been sitting on my heart, on my chest, that's been like fluttering through my brain waves. And whatever you think about and whatever you're worried about is going to come up either way, whether you address it or not. Um, and it's gonna take a toll on your whole body and your brain functioning. So I've been trying to suppress this for a little too long, and the truth is I feel like somewhere in here I don't want to graduate, and here's why. Okay, so I'm gonna get started. Hopefully this video will be coherent, but really I kind of drank coffee a little too late, and it's cold brew. So if you, cold brew is like it's like concentrated coffee. So I think it's a tad bit stronger than like coffee that you brew normally. Cause like with cold brew, you put it inside this little pitcher, it's like a little mesh thing, and then you just let it sit in the refrigerator. And like 10 hours later, you have coffee, but it's concentrated. It's not just 10 minutes and you want it done. No, it takes hours to brew that. So I think it's a little bit more powerful. So I definitely sipped my last sip at like 4 or 5, and to be honest, I was like, this is not gonna do anything because I mean, at this point, it's just a nice sweet drink. But I feel the effects of being amped up, and just a warning, just a warning. Okay, so I kind of recorded this video already, but I haven't watched it back, and I just feel like I'm not going to like the video. I just feel like I'm not going to like it, so I'm just recording it again because I have a little bit more energy right now. I'm from the cold brew, and to be honest, tomorrow is kinda, I feel like technically that's my last day at school. I feel like it's definitely my last day of school. I have a final critique with the sculpture class I took this semester, 8 a.m. class. So you see how having all this coffee energy is a problem because I have to go to sleep to be up like at 6 to make it to class by 8. But this coffee, it seemed like it's gonna prevent that. Wasn't the best decision, but we live and learn. So my last day of school is technically tomorrow, and I have critique and I have a presentation and a paper that's due tomorrow. And to be honest, I kind of haven't been letting myself feel excitement, and I will say the reason for that is because of excitement. I feel like there's excited energy and nervous energy, and they're the same, but it's kind of like on different ends of the spectrum, essentially, or different pinpoints. And to be honest, the energy that's coming up, that's excited energy, it's not excited like, yay, next step. It's excited like, oh my gosh, what is going to happen? It's manifesting as anxiety. Um, and I feel like I've been feeling this all like semester because inwardly I know that this is the ending of something that I've been doing for the past 2.5 years. I got to UTA, University of Arlington in Texas, University of Texas in Arlington at the end of 2019. And it's 2022, and now I'm about to graduate. And I mean, people usually are excited about graduating and yay, I did such a big accomplishment and I'm finally at the end, but I feel like for me, I have such a heavy anticipation of what's to come next that is preventing like happy, excited energy, and instead it's just heavy anxiety that I've been suppressing. And like, so, well, it's a good thing you're graduating, but it's not like I know it's a good thing to graduate, but as far as believing that and like moving with that type of energy, that hasn't been happening. It's been like, oh, yeah, I'm graduating. I was like, are you excited? Are you happy? And I'm just like, yeah, yeah. I mean, just because, okay, I'll say it's been 3, as I've been sitting with myself and like, okay, let's get to the bottom of this because something's up, and I'm not really liking this feeling. So let's get to the bottom of it. So I would say it's like three three things that's kind of going into me not wanting to graduate. The first thing is probably the most obvious, the uncertainty about what happens next. As an artist, I'm going to school to major in painting. I feel like you have to be a lot more creative about what the next step look like. It can be very open and free, which is exciting, but that can also be scary because it's so open and so free that you feel like there's no type of stability, which is a fear that's often a fear that's often not to say distributed, but promoted, even by professors, like any art is like, yeah, it's so hard to be an artist. Like there aren't many artists that just sell work and live off of that. It's so hard to get a job as like a professor, a teacher, just because it's highly competitive. Everybody wants to be a teacher and an artist, and it's just like. So I graduated with this painting thing, and I'm like, I'm good at painting, but y'all saying how hard it's gonna be. It's like, wait, I'm about to be out. I'm about to be done with this school part, so I'm gonna have to try to make this work. And before, I have a lot of optimistic feelings about me. It's like, I'm so good of an artist. It doesn't matter that it's so hard for everybody else because I'm so good. Like, I'm only getting better, and of course, I'm gonna make it work. Like, it's nothing to me. I'm gonna just do my best, and that's gonna be good enough. And that's worked for me so far, but it's also worked because I've been in school. So if I'm not doing anything super big, it's like, well, I'm focusing on school anyway. So I mean, that's my biggest concern. Like, if I'm not represented by a gallery, if I'm not, flying all over the country for my solo show, it's fine because I'm in school. So this is what I'm focused on. Like, duh. And so now that I'm not in school, I'm graduating. It's like, oh, you gotta like see what's up. Like, what's your next step? Like, are you gonna work in a gallery? Are you gonna just try to be represented by a gallery? Are you gonna try to be represented by a gallery? Are you gonna be like working in the gallery? What's your next step? And it's like, girl, I don't know. Can y'all keep asking me that? I don't know. I don't. So, um, yeah, the uncertainty of the next step is really like pushing some buttons. And I feel like for me overall, even when I was younger, yeah, I'll say when I was younger, um, change, whether good or bad, is something that was difficult for me to manage to a certain extent. Because of uncertainty, like I don't know what's gonna happen, and I don't know if I need such a heavy control or feeling of control of what's about to be going on. But it's like, can I have a guideline? Can I have a little insight? Can I have like an idea of what's like on the agenda? And it's like if I have a little outline, a little idea, then it's like, okay, well, I'll just hit a few points here and there, and I'll end up where I'm supposed to be. But it's like if you don't have anything, it's like, okay, wait, what? I don't know. So that large realm of uncertainty is intimidating. I would say, yeah, it's been intimidating for me to think about. So I've been kind of suppressing that, and it's like, okay, I'll scroll on TikTok. I'll just distract myself from my feelings, basically. So the intimidation of the uncertainty, the feeling of being good because of circumstances. Let's get into that because that's a real thing for me. Okay, so I won awards for art. I've submitted to different shows. Sometimes I get best of show. I got a solo show one time. When I apply to stuff, I don't get it every time, but when I get it, I might get an award or something. Like I've been in the shows consistently, and sometimes I'm asked to be a part of exhibitions, and every time I do something, it's like, okay, that's good. It's like, and you're still in school. Like somebody asked me like, oh, and what are you, a grad? I don't know. I'm not a grad student. I'm not a grad student. I'm undergrad. Like I didn't even graduate yet. Actually, I didn't graduate yet. I'm still my BFA program. So I'm not. You might think I'm a grad student because the work I'm making is like so good, but I'm not a grad student yet. So just imagine when I get there, it's gonna be even better. If you have a 12-year-old and a 12-year-old is a prodigy at playing the piano, it's very impressive. But when that 12-year-old is 23 playing the same stuff, it's not so, impressive. It's not so interesting. So that's another fear that I have at this point. Is like you're doing so good for still being like such a young artist and still in school and still like you're doing all this cool stuff, but you're also in all these exhibitions. It's like, oh wow, that's so impressive. That's so good. And I have a fear somewhere that okay, it's impressive because you are like if I was in middle school, it's impressive that you're in all this stuff because I mean you're in middle school, like you have so much room to grow. And it's like after this point of being in a BFA or being an undergraduate in school, after that point it's kind of like, oh, the expectation of you to be doing all this stuff anyway because you're an art professional or you're working to be an art professional, so you need to have all this stuff under your belt. You need to be continually doing this and that. Instead of it being an add-on, a plus, or added to everything else I'm doing, it's like this is what you're supposed to be doing. So I feel like I'm still in school because I didn't graduate just yet, but I feel like it always for me felt like not extra but kinda because school is my main thing. So everything extra was like, yeah, I'm in school, but also this happened and this happened and this happened. So I guess I'm fearing, is it still gonna be substantial? Is that the right word? Is it still going to be substantial? Is it still going to be something of substance um, outside of school? Like to myself, will it still be impressive? Because I've done some cool stuff, but I feel like it's the cherry on top of everything else I'm doing. So it's the fear of not being as good as I think I am because I'm outside of a element. And also like school has such a structure it gives you that I appreciate it because when I took my first like art classes, I was like, wow, like I probably could have learned this myself if I really tried, possibly, but I wouldn't have stuck past the learning curve. Whenever I had to use a new material and it's frustrating, it's like, babe, this material not for me. And then after I kept using it, I realized like, oh, this material kind of cool. Like I could do some cool stuff with this. But with myself, I wouldn't have went out on my way to purchase the materials and then try to use them past the awkward phase of not knowing what you're doing. So I feel like for me, school really pushed that just because assignments required you to do different things. And that structure really helped me to grow as an artist. And the past few months, like before like this semester, I was like, okay, I'm tired of school. Like I'm tired of these assignments. I'm tired of the structure turns in for me, it turned into restriction. It's like I'm tired of this restriction. I'm tired of like telling me what to do as far as like you gotta do this project and this project and this project. It just kinda don't have nothing to do with my own personal narrative and the stuff that I'm working on. It feel like it's in a way. And I was really feeling myself because I was doing this mural project and I was like, bro, like for real, like I'm getting asked to do murals and stuff. Like I'm traveling to paint murals and I gotta come back to school. I was like, school is really like it's getting in the way kinda. And I was like, bro, when I graduate, I ain't gotta worry about none of that. And now here I am so close to graduation and I'm not necessarily in the thick of like doing a mural right this second. So now I'm forgetting how it feels that school is a restriction. Now I feel like I'm clinging to it because of the fear of uncertainty of what comes after. So it's funny how things work out like that. When you in the thick of it, you understand or you see things differently. At that time, I was doing my mural project, and I was like, bro, school getting in the way of me being like a real artist, bro. Like, I don't even need this no more. Which, obviously, I came back to class and did everything that I was going to do, but I still had that mental thought of like, bro, school getting in the way for real. Like, I don't even need this. Like, I'm in shows. I'm invited to do shows. I'm painting murals. I'm invited to do murals. Like, this school, and I got to come back and go to school. what? Nah, this ain't no way. But now I'm clear. I was like, okay, wait. I know internally that I'm tired of school because these past couple semesters, I'm like, okay, I'm tired of talking about my stuff with like in this environment. I'm tired of creating in this environment. I'm tired of not feeling like I have the freedom to just do what I want. And I would say my instructors and stuff, they've been supportive, I would say. But it's still like making art or making anything creatively with this, they're making you have a direction when you can't just, for me, feel like just freely just make whatever and it be like whatever. um because it's not like the assignments were so close that I couldn't make what I want to make, but it's still just having like something peering over you. Which, like I said, having thoughts about your work can be helpful. um but at this point it's like, okay, I'm tired of that. I know I'm tired of it, but now that it's ending, that fear is like making me cling to the things that I was ready to move past. Um, so yeah. And also, like, let's get into the lack of the structure aspect of school, because that's something that I've appreciated. And I first appreciated it, and then I was like, okay, you doing too much. I don't need this. And now it's again another fear of, okay, am I committed to the art like I think I am? Because when you have due dates and deadlines and expectations put on you for school assignments, then you're gonna get stuff done. Whether you're staying up all night, whether you're putting in like you in class period and you putting in like work every couple of days for a few hours toward this assignment, whatever the case may be, how committed are you outside of somebody else having expectations for you? Like, you're doing it yourself. What is your, do you have that inner drive to keep doing it when nobody is telling you to do it? And for me, I feel like I have that inner drive to do more, but when you don't have nobody looking over your shoulder to tell you, oh, you need to do this, oh, this is due, oh, this is like, are you still gonna like do it consistently with some fire underneath you? Like, are you still gonna like push yourself to like make some stuff that's like, that you feel like is, have some meat to it? I feel like I will, but again, it's the aspect of like, well, I don't know. So those are thoughts that are going through my head. Also, just the aspect of getting older, because I turned 25 like a few weeks ago, and that has been making my mind like, I haven't really been thinking about turning 25. I'm like, bro, you are like, it is, you're getting like, you're grown, like you're getting like, you're grown, like what's going on? Let's start making some stuff happen. Like let's do some stuff. Let's not sit in your room that you had since you were 12. Let's get with the move on, babes. Like, why are you getting scared? You've been wanting all this stuff for all these years, but now it's getting to the time to like start shifting, and now you want to stay still. It's like, nah, never mind. I don't want to shift no more. I don't want to stretch. I don't want to stretch. I want to stay stiff. I don't want to stretch no more. I want to stay stiff. I wanna stay small. It's like, bro, we gotta. It's growing. See, it's time to grow. It's spring. It's time to grow. So yeah, a whole lot of fears popping up. And to be honest, as I look at it right now, it's really the fear of feeling not good enough, essentially. Like, inwardly, it's like not good enough to truly do what I'm trying to do. Which consciously, as I'm speaking it out, it's like, well, that's not true. But those subconscious beliefs be like, they'll pick and choose when to come out. They'll pick and choose when to come out. So as I'm kind of putting the pieces together, the fear of uncertainty after graduating and completing this this beautiful task of like coming to completion and earning a degree, graduating, that is hard work. So the uncertainty of what comes after, the fear of not having structure placed on me with like like classes and schedules and deadlines placed by like instructors. Um, and the fear of not being substantial enough because I'm not clinging to the youth of being, oh, I'm still an undergrad. I'm still an undergrad. So, yeah. Yeah, I have this lined up in this, but also I didn't graduate yet, so I'm dealing with that too. Like not relying not relying on those things. And not even realizing that was a thing to rely on, but the fact that it's going to disperse, it's like, oh wait, that thing that we've been holding on to, I think we need that. I think you actually need that to like be good. Like I don't know how it is if we that's like when you had that ego, like all that stuff that's trying to hold on to these labels of, even if the label is as simple as being in school as a undergraduate, it still means something somewhere until you address it. So me speaking it out loud is kind of like me addressing it and realizing that maybe it's not as valid as my fear is making it feel. Because I know I'm a good artist and I try I be trying to make good art, but all the fears be coming out at the most intense times. So yeah, the fear of not being good enough. Dang, it really comes down to that. It really come back to that. The fear of truly not being good enough to achieve what I want to achieve. Which is, let's be honest. I keep telling myself, oh, you can become a painting professor. I really don't want to do that. That is a very good option. And a lot of artists become painting professors because you spend X amount of hours in class teaching your students. You get the rest free. A part of being a professor is having your own personal research, being in shows, having like your own like personal practice, art practice going on, and essentially, if you get somewhere good, it's a pretty good gig. But really, knowing myself, that's not gonna work for me. That's not gonna work. Because to be honest, I put a lot of energy into whatever I do. So if I'm in class with however many students putting in energy, like, guys, we need to learn about blah, blah, blah. Students, to be honest, for the most part, depending on where you at, they do not care. They don't care. They're there for a grade. They're there because they have to be. So if I'm really putting in like effort that I know I put in effort, if I'm putting in energy that I know I put in whenever I'm interacting with any person, if I'm gonna be exerting that every other day for weeks to months to be a professor to these kids that don't care, and I'm exerting energy trying to tell you how to fix your work and you don't care, babe, that's not that's not in alignment for me. That's not what I'm supposed to be doing. What I'm doing is working towards being a professional artist, a professional painter, and that's it. That getting paid to make art. You see it, you buy it. Whether it's a museum buying a work, whether it's the city government buying a work to put in a recreational center or a school, or some rich person want to bottle work and put it, whatever the case may be. A TV show want to use it for their set. SZA want to use it for an album cover. Somebody wants something for a movie. Somebody wants something for an airport. Somebody wants something for the side of the building in the city of New York, LA, Miami, whatever the case may be. That is the goal. The goal is to become a professional painting, professional artist. I'm saying a lot of the same words, but I'm trying to sell art and make art and be immensely comfortable. No struggle. No struggle. No struggling artists. I'm deleting that narrative. I'm tired of y'all keep on talking about art is so hard to make it in, and you know, like hard, difficult. Babe, how about we delete some of those words? Like, I'm not trying to hear that. What? I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. That's not a part of my narrative. Hard, difficult, struggle. No, no. Buy the art now. It's good now. You could purchase it now. Like, you can start supporting now. Art residencies, going to Europe, going to London, going to, like I said, like Miami, Art Basel. Girl, I don't know, but I'm going there. Funded. I'm not having to pay for it. It's funded. Look at me going on a whole rant. Anyways, the goal is to be a art professional painting person. All this extra stuff, I don't want to have to do anything to supplement the income. I don't want to be having to be a bartender for this, and that, or be a teacher when I'm not called to do that. I feel like I would be a good teacher, but I feel like students don't care enough for me. And I know I exert a lot of energy whenever I'm engaging with people. Look at me exerting all this energy and you don't care. What? That don't make sense. I'm sorry to say. That just don't make sense. So, yeah. So a lot of fears coming up, but I'm thinking that me addressing them will help them disperse a little bit more. Because all this anxiety flaring up, it's not helpful for me. It's not helpful at all. It's not. I haven't even painted nothing. I've barely been drawing stuff because my body is holding all of its energy for this stress and anticipation of like graduating. I don't know if you know that was a thing, but at least for me, I can't make art under certain conditions, and it's like, bro, can we paint something to prove that we still could do some good art? Like what is you doing? Paint, draw something. So yeah, I haven't painted or drew anything. That's a part of my personal practice, but I'm realizing it's because I'm not thinking about that right now. My mind is exerting all of its energy thinking about the fear that I have associated with graduating, but also trying to suppress my attention to that. So I don't have any other energy to exert towards let's like, paint something, let's draw something, like let's get into it. It's not having no energy for that. So I'm thinking after graduation, I'll be renewed and be like, okay, like, when you brace yourself for something and after it happened, it's like, well, I guess that wasn't so bad. Yeah, I really was trying to be excited for graduating, but then like it's different when you actually there. I guess like I thought I was just gonna be excited and happy and blah blah blah, and I'm just like this. I'm just like this. I'm just stiff. But thanks for watching. I'm probably gonna have an art. I don't know. Let me not promise nothing because I was like, I'll have a graduation vlog and you're gonna show me be so happy. Girl, let me not promise nothing. But thank you for watching this video. Peace.